Hey, we're here with Will from Cartel. It's been a while since Cartel's played here in Nashville. What's been going on in the world of Cartel since last October?
We played some college shows in March, and that was about the time we were getting off of Wind Up and decided that we wanted to do this whole new regime of Cartel with self-release and things like that. And our whole plan is to do EPs more often, so we can get music out quicker and not have to worry about 2-year record cycles. That's just not what we're
Like the
trying
bands
to
don't
do.
have to wait on it.
Exactly. That's just
No
2
one
years
likes
is too
waiting.
long, and there's so many bands putting out music all the time that it's just kind of silly to not put it out more often because you're just going to get off the radar, you know. Then it's like you try to build everything back every time you put a record out, and that's what we've noticed in the last couple of records we've done. And at that point in time, we decided that we were going to do it all this summer. We sat in I guess June through early August. We were finishing up the EP and got it mixed a couple weeks ago, and it'll be coming out October 4th. So that's pretty much been the world of Cartel since then.
For people who really don't know the whole process, how much big of a difference is it between being on a record label and then releasing all your stuff independently?
It's really, really easy without a record label. Because the problem with record labels, as far as being the artist, is that you have somebody who's not in the band, who doesn't know you from Adam, really. All they can go on is your past records and what they think you can do. And all you get are people trying to tell you what to sound like and how your song should be different and change. And I think that's just it's a necessary evil, I guess, when it comes to record labels, and it's not like it hasn't worked in the past. But for us, we're not rookies at this. We've done this. This is our fourth release. Yeah, this will be our fourth release. So it's I'm kind of a recording nerd with audio. I hope to produce records one day, and I produced this record. So it's we know how to write songs. We did it before Chroma. Nobody helped us. Ransom EP. Nobody helped us. It was just we just went and recorded it, and those seem to be records that fans reacted to more than any of the others.
Most memorable, kind of
right, yeah.
The most.
And that was when it was the most natural. I don't want to say real, because every record we've done we're proud of, and we did what we wanted to do ultimately, but it wasn't without outside influence, and that's the part that bummed us out, was that we know that certain things would have been different, certain promotions surrounding the band would have been different, and that's what we wanted to make sure didn't happen again. And it's just insanely easy when you don't have someone trying to tell you what to do. And not that that's a bad thing, because some people need direction, but we've been around the block a few times, so we know how it looks.
So Chroma and the Ransom EP, they kind of set your standard for both what fans want and then both the business side of it too, sort of.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it was just easy, and it was natural, and
it worked, obviously.
It worked, yeah, it worked, and people. It was a very grassroots thing where it's just us and the fans, and there really wasn't a whole lot going on, and it just blew up based upon people liking it and us, performing and hitting the road and being in front of them, and that's all it really is being a band, writing music and playing it.
Ultimately, all that matters.
Yes, exactly.
So you guys have released the new song, Lessons in Love. With the release date being a little over a month away, what kind of sound can we expect from the rest of the new EP?
I guess sonically, as far as recording-wise, it sounds a lot like Lessons in Love. Maybe a little better, because Lessons in Love was recorded separately from the other 4 songs that'll be on the EP, and we learned a couple things that we wanted to do differently. Without getting into it too hard, just a couple of different sonic elements we wanted to fix. But you probably wouldn't notice. It's little things that, you're in the band and you can go, oh, that kick drum sounds a little different. I like that. Just tiny things. But musically, it's very much like Lessons in Love, with the exception of 2 songs, which kind of delve more into our the other sides of the band.
The old sound, sort of.
I think Lessons in Love is kind of typical of Cartel in that, in the music vein, but kind of in the different sort of sounds. There's a song called Conduit that's probably our favorite song, that is a lot more. It was actually written at the same time this the self-titled record was written. It's got a lot more of a darker energy to it, but it's really cool. There's a lot of really cool instrumentation going on, so we're really stoked about that one. There's another one called American Dreams that I guess is the ballad, but it's not at all. It's a different song than we've ever written before, but it's very Cartel still. And I think that's one thing that we've always prided ourselves on, is that we can do one thing. We can do the pop punk-ish thing pretty well, and we've always liked to explore the other things that we can do.
But definitely like the Cartel, signature sound.
Exactly.
Sort of. Okay, if your new EP was a person, what would he or she look like? Always gets them.
Oh, wow. Good Lord. Hopefully a mix between Johnny Depp and Brad Pitt.
Everybody will like it.
Mysterious but handsome. I don't know. That's probably a terrible answer.
Which do you like more, being on tour or in the studio?
I like the studio personally, just because it's the birth of something, And touring it's a different world, just because it's, you're having to perform it every night at a pretty high standard to be able to cut through and establish yourself as an actual good band live to see. So it's challenging in different respects, but I mean, just personally, I like the studio because that's where it's happening.
Where it all starts.
Exactly.
Coming out of Georgia, being in the band has given you the opportunity to travel around everywhere. Did anything surprise you about tour life and constantly being away from home when you're on tour?
For me personally, I think it's a lot easier than people make it out to be. It takes a certain type of person to be able to tour for as long as we have and continue and want to still do it. It's just, I don't know, we were just talking about this the other day in the band, where it's like, this is only a week-long tour that we were doing, basically surrounding shows that we had already booked, and like, all right, well, let's throw some headliners in there just to get us around so we're not driving 18 hours to play shows. But we kind of hit this groove a few days in where you forget what day it is and you kind of lose track of time because you're just doing the same thing every day.
Over and over.
And 6 weeks goes by a lot faster than you think it does. So, I mean, being away from home, things like that, it's always new experiences. And at this point in time, we've toured so much that every place is kind of like home. So there's not really a whole lot of unfamiliarity with anything.
Plus, after all, I mean, you've been doing it so long. I mean, you have to get it right eventually, and know what to expect. And
exactly, we're pretty adept at handling the touring life.
If anybody can do it, you can. I mean,
right,
Cartel.
exactly.
What are your plans for the rest of this year?
We're gonna go to Australia the first week of November, and then we're playing a few dates with Hot Rod Circuit on their reunion tour, middle of November towards the end. I forget what the actual timeline is, but. We're going to do that. The EP comes out October 4th, so it'll be...
all about promoting that.
Exactly, yeah. Instead of going for that first week sales, we're going to promote it really heavily up until then, and then you kind of see promotion start to wane off after bands release records. We wanted to do the opposite, put it out, and then
be more realistic about it. When people hear it, they'll buy it, kind of thing.
You start talking about, this record's coming out October 4th. Well, okay, well... cool, I guess I'll wait till then because there's nothing for me to listen to. That's why we wanted to get the Lessons in Love out before, so people could at least hear like, yes, we are doing something. But I feel like it's such in this new world of the music industry, like you can promote all day long, but if you don't have something for people to go get, what's the point?
Yeah.
So we wanted to make sure all our steam and momentum was reserved for post-release.
Stay more constant than being, so built up and then just.
Exactly, because a lot of our fans still, probably haven't heard Lessons in Love or even know it's out. So, and we didn't really have a whole lot. It was kind of an impromptu thing where we had premiered the song on the Gun Show. It's on IW Radio, and when that came out, we were like, oh, well, that probably means that people are going to start streaming it because they recorded the broadcast and putting it out. We probably need to get this on iTunes immediately. And I think that's a testament of how this whole new process is going to work. Because it was, I did the interview on a Wednesday or Thursday, I think, and then we ended up putting it up on iTunes on Saturday, and then it came out that next Tuesday, so it was just really quick. And with the label, they'd have been like, well, no, we got to wait 2 weeks and do a press release and all this other stuff. And in 2 weeks, everybody's already downloaded it.
Yeah,
that's really your fighting.
They'll get it no matter,
Exactly. So that's kind of the way we wanted to market this whole new phase of Cartel, was in it's already out, here you go.
Yeah, for me personally, it was like, oh gosh, there's a new Cartel song out, and then kind of, get to know that coming out with new stuff and stuff.
Yeah.
So 20 years from now, what do you want people to be saying about Cartel?
That they didn't suck. That would be great. I don't know. I hope our legacy is just more in the vein that we. I mean, personally, music aside, like I just don't want people to think we're assholes. Because I think there's a lot of bands that they're good live, and they have good rapport with their fans. But at the same time, like
if you don't get on that same level with your fans and communicate with them,
I think some people just don't appreciate it. And I mean, we came from the world of like underground hardcore music, where we were watching people play in closets, like really small venues, and there's 100 people at the show, and that's a huge show for that scene. And we do like 20, 25 people, and the band's hanging out afterwards. And you go up and be like, "You guys are great," and you just sit there and chat.
But the bands are half the crowd.
Exactly, and I think that's an element that's missing nowadays. Where for better or for worse, I think some bands get big because they have that mystique and that rock star thing going on, and they don't really ever get to talk to their fans or things like that. And people are like, oh, well, they're famous, and they get bigger because they think they're famous, and not necessarily because they like their music or who they are. And I want people to relate our music with our individual,
especially like this specific music scene. It's more like if you come out, you talk to your friends after the shows, stuff like that. You get farther,
Yeah, no, I think it works, and it's about establishing that personal connection that we've definitely recognized in our fan base. There's people that we see at. When we play this city, we know this person's coming.
Yeah, if it's within like 6 hours, they'll be there.
Right, exactly. And, we see them, and we've hung out with them years before, and, all the shows since then. So I feel like that's kind of the best thing we could give back, is that, we're just real people. We're not trying to be, I don't give a damn about being famous or anything like that. It's just all about play music. I just want to be able to play music on stage and for people to listen. That's really
more friends than fans.
Yeah, I mean, we hope so anyway. It's obviously hard to really make that personal connection with every individual, but we hope that at least people recognize that we're not your typical band of like, oh, we're in a band and we're better. We don't like that whole thing, and when we recognize bands that do that, we probably don't hang out with them.
Right.
Just because we're like, you're not real. We don't want to hang out with you. We're too old we're too old and know too many people to deal with
care
that.
About like what. Yeah, that's understandable.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely, thank you.